Okay, so we're going to solve radical equations. There's two of them, okay? It's either going to be in radical form or it's going to be in rational exponent form. So, which we call exponential form. So either radical form or exponential form, but we're going to treat them the same way. And everything has to deal with the index. That's what we're looking for. So we're going to start with what I call the basic radical form, basic exponential form. Okay, so this is what I call basic radical form. It means you have the square root of a variable and it equals a number, okay? So we're going to look at the index. What is the index of this? 2. So if the index is 2, that means we're going to square both sides of the equation. When you square a square root, too big, the square root goes away, okay? And you end up with y. 8 squared is 64. The other thing that you need to know is that we are dealing only with principal square roots, which means we're only dealing with the positive root. Now, the next thing I need you guys to do is always go back and check your answer. So if y is 64, is the square root of 64 8? Is that a true statement? Then this is our answer. It is important that you always go back and check your work, because we will get sometimes what we call extraneous solutions, and what that means is they do not work and it's not an answer. Just because you get an answer for a variable doesn't mean that it's going to work. Okay, so that's in radical form. That's a basic radical equation. Now I can give you the same equation, but this time I'm going to write it in exponential form. So this is exponential form. You're going to look at the denominator of the fraction. What is the denominator of the fraction? 3. That means in order to get rid of the fraction, we need to cube both sides of the equation. So whatever the denominator of the fraction is, whatever your index is what you do to both sides of the equations. So you guys, 1/3 times 3 is y. Negative 3 to the third power.
Negative 27.
Yep. Then we can check it. And I'm going to show you how to use your calculator to check it. Negative 27 raised to the 1/3. And you want to use your calculator function. Hit equals. It does equal negative 3. So this means this is my answer. Okay. Now, those are our basics. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit more. When you get a radical equation, you want to get as close to the basic radical equation as possible. And what that means is you want the radical on one side by itself. So we're going to start on the side of the radical, x minus 2 minus 1. So I need to get rid of that 1. How do you get rid of it?
Add 1 to both sides.
We're going to add 1 to both sides. Okay. Now, this is the square root of x minus 2. So what is the index? What's the index? 2. That means in order to get rid of an index of 2, we're going to square both sides of the equation. So when you square a square root, you get what's left under the square root. Again, you guys, when you square a radical or you cube the radical, whatever you have to do to get rid of the radical sign, you're just left with what's underneath the radical. So now, in order to get x by itself, I am going to add 2 to both sides. So what I did is instead of x, I'm going to check it. I'm going to plug in 38. This 38 minus 2 is the square root of 36. Does 6 minus 1 equal 5? Does 6 minus 1 equal 5?
Yes.
Then x equals 38 and you're done. Okay. What do you think you need to do first on this one? Oh, you guys can't see it, so I apologize. There we go. That's a 6 there. So anytime we're solving for an equation, we're going to add or subtract first. Okay, now what am I going to do? What's in front of the radical? So now I'm going to divide by 7. Okay. Now what do you think I'm going to do? What? It's kind of multiplying by 6. We're going to raise each side to the 6th power. You guys, what is 2 to the 6th power?
64.
Okay. Subtract the 4 from both sides. (5m) equals 60. divide by 5, m equals 12. Now,